pretty powerful messages there about a very insidious issue that is happening to our young people, and of course right across the board in relationships, particularly talking about dating, of course. And here to tell us about that video and about some initiatives that Ottawa Family Services are undertaking is Erin Fleming, the coordinator for In Love and in Danger, and Lori Rector, Director of Community Programs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing video, by the way.
Yeah.
I was really struck by that. So if you have a chance to watch it, it's about 4 minutes long and it has a lot of very, very important messages in there.
That the
It's
kids
beautiful.
came up with themselves, right?
Yeah, in a
So
very short amount of time.
So what was the question you asked them? How did that whole thing start?
They were asked if somebody you knew was involved in a difficult or dating violence relationship, what message would you like to give them? And so they had about 20 minutes or so to develop their messages and then present them in that video.
What struck me was some of the statistics, right? I mean, we saw from the very first screen, 43% of relationships, the dating relationships have some kind of violence in them. But then I thought to myself, how would I deal with it with my own children, as a for instance? I'm sure lots of parents think about that. And then the message, of course, is if your child is not involved in that 43%, there's a whole 57% others that need to know how to deal with it as well. And I think that that's a really powerful message that you're giving back to the youth, and it's super important.
Yeah, and through the program, through the In Love and in Danger program, that's always part of what we're trying to do, is make sure we involve youth that have experienced the violence in their relationship or are at risk, and then some other youth that haven't and can be leaders and signs of hope as well for those that are involved.
Ultimately, I think the goal for us is to prevent it before it starts.
Obviously,
Right.
It's important.
So I guess part of that is involvement with the students and leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big part of our program is that the youth are the voice. So ultimately, I'm really happy that you showed the video at the beginning, because ultimately they're the ones who are spreading the message. We give them the content, we give them the information, but they're the ones who take it and guide the process and figure out the best ways that they can share that information with their peers, so that people their age are actually going to listen.
Well, it's interesting. I was just
going to say, it's core to the program that we really believe in. We really work with the youth, and Erin does, that they're part of the solution. Because so often as a society we tell our young people, you're the problem, you're doing it wrong, you don't know what we know, we're older, we know better. And so really In Love and in Danger is based on saying, you guys are part of the solution.
And I think too, the message to give to young people is not that the solutions come from the top down. That for it to be really effective and to have stickiness, it has to be grassroots.
Absolutely.
And it's also important with you're saying about the social media, because of course if you're having the students, there's a lot of negativity about all the bad things that have happened with social media, bad sharing we'll call it, right? And now you're giving them an opportunity to have some good sharing, because you're giving them the message to share in a positive way, and that's going to hopefully turn the cycle around.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
the other part of that, and you're so right, because the message that they get is that their use of devices or social media is wrong. Don't do it as much. Stop doing it. Put your phone down. Come to dinner. It's a tool for bad, but it's also a tool for good.
Right.
And for the last 2.5 years, we've been able to focus on that in the program.
Right.
So take something, like you said, the solution to come from the youth, something they're using and they're very adept at. How can they help solve the problem with it?
And I noticed too that in the video there was a lot of boys, a lot of girls, and different races as well. How did they respond? Was there any difference in how they responded, boy students versus girl students and so forth?
Well, I think an important part of our program, and any program that's kind of working in this field, is that oftentimes people are pointing the fingers and saying guys are the perpetrators. You're the perpetrators, you guys are the ones at fault. And ultimately our goal is to get them to become active participants and let them know that they are a part of the solution as well. So providing them with the skills that they can use to stand up to the issue, to promote awareness of the issue. You guys aren't you're not the bad guys, you are part of the solution. So we kind of see it as a collective, right? If everybody comes together as a collective, we can create that social change.
And the other part of that is messaging around violence prevention. So much of what we've been taught is to the females who are generally the victimized. Change your behavior, change your life. You must have done something wrong. What were you doing out late at night? Why were you dating when you were so young? So by bringing both together and trying to empower instead of kind of push down and be negative.
And I'm sure the message is important for the guys. Like you said, they've always been seen as the perpetrators and the women as the victims. So, and the boys who maybe are not the perpetrators don't have a voice. They have nothing to share. So they, instead of being the silent oppression, there can be the voice of reason, right?
Yeah, and for the last couple times, you've had a session where it's for the guys only.
Yes, yeah, at our conferences. So those workshops are facilitated by males only, for male-identified students only. And what they do is they do a lot of role-playing and bystander intervention skills. So how can you stand up to those sexist messages that are out there, to the gender-based violence you're seeing in the media?
Well, and I think it's an important conversation to be having, in as much as, you know, we just saw President-elect Trump with some of the messaging, his infamous hot mic incident back in 2005, and his explanation that it was locker room talk. And, you know, I know a lot of sportsmen, and they were like, yeah, we talk about our families, our mortgage, the best restaurant, our holidays. We don't talk like that in the locker room. And it's because that's not part of a team mentality. So, which was an interesting remark, but I think that when that sort of conversation becomes normalized, it's when we actually have to go and talk to kids and say, actually, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's right. That's really important. Yeah.
So what other programs are you building around this, just before we go?
Around the 11 Endangered?
Yeah.
So the other part is we've got, it's anchored by a conference in the fall and a conference in the spring with about 250 students. When we've got the resources, Erin will go into the schools during the school year between those two conferences and go deeper with the awareness building, the information sharing, and then helping them on their school projects as well.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. Where can kids go to sign up?
So they typically sign up through their schools. We partner with both school boards, so the Ottawa Carleton District School Board and the Ottawa Catholic School Board, and through their schools they kind of connect with our program.
Wonderful. Awesome. So people can go to familyservicesottawa.org to see the videos or to find out more.
And to find out how to contact Erin if they need to.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was going to say, I encourage everybody to watch the video because it was very impactful. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
you.